Hello friends, I am just jumping on here. All right, let's make sure we are live on the right channel. This is always the trick. Am I live in the right spot? There we go. All right, turn the volume down. How is everyone today? Hopefully you all had an amazing Christmas. I feel super blessed. I had an awesome Christmas and a great time with my family. So super blessed for all of that. Hopefully yours was wonderful too. Today I'm just popping on to talk to you a little bit about the holiday catalog that is retiring in just a few days. The last time you can order from this is going to be January 4th. And so January 4th, but everything is while supplies last. So there are some things that are already sold out. So I just wanted to give you a quick update on that, and then I'm going to go through and we're going to do some cards with scraps today. So if you're anything like me, you probably have lots of scraps lying around. I keep everything because I could always use it on a card, right? And so I've got lots to show you today. So I'll set this aside real quick and just quickly update you on the holiday catalogs. So super sad to see a lot of my favorites go. So there was some paper I couldn't even show you today that I wanted to show you because it is retired already. It is gone. It was while supplies last. It's not coming back. So lots of great deals in the holiday catalog. There's still some amazing deals in here. So please jump on the website and get your order in right away so you don't miss out. Some of the paper we're going to be using today I'm going to show you is from our holiday catalog and is retiring. So one of the things I definitely wanted to show you though that we still have available is our tag buffet. So this, if you're getting ready for Christmas next year, and I know you guys are out there, you shop the day after Christmas so you can get all the deals for Christmas next year and have your stuff set and ready to go. We've got some great sales going on. So our tag buffet kit is 50% off. This is a beautiful kit to make all of your Christmas gift tags, and they're large size gift tags, so they're going to be really nice on your cards. They're going to look really classy on any of your gifts that you're giving out. They're great for cards too. You can make cards out of these. The only thing to remember is that the stamp set is gone, so that has sold out, but the actual kit itself is not sold out. And you can use any of your Christmas stamps with the kit. You don't have to have this special stamp set. So if you have any Christmas stamps at all, this is a great value, that tag buffet. One of my favorites. The other one of my favorite gifts is our Christmas countdown. This is also 50% off, and so there are some still available. And this is our advent calendar, so it counts down from 1 to 25. So you can count down every day to Christmas. I put little chocolates or little gifts in each one. I know I was thinking about, I just didn't get it together this year, but putting a verse in every one so that you're reading the Christmas story as you go. I love that idea. I love, people were saying they took a 25-piece puzzle and put a piece in each drawer so that they were building a puzzle every day. Just some really fun things like that. It's a neat kit. You don't need anything else. The kit comes with everything you need except adhesive, so you just need some adhesive. But it's going to come with all of the embellishments, everything that goes with it, no stamps required. So that's a really great Christmas countdown kit if you're getting ready for next year. I super love that one. We're going to be using some gorgeous papers today, so I wanted to show you some of the papers we still have available. Our Poinsettia Place Designer Series paper is on sale for $8.05 right now. This paper is gorgeous and it is still available. So if you're interested in that, definitely pick yourself up some of that Poinsettia Place paper. I did notice that the brightly gleaming paper was still available as well. This is probably one of my most favorite papers that we have. It's absolutely beautiful. So if that's something you're looking for, it's a foil paper, and you know our specialty papers are always a little bit more. So it's normally $15. It's on sale for $7.50 right now. So really, really pretty. And I'm highlighting paper today just because that's what we're going to be using, but we have some amazing stamp sets too that are retiring. Let me flip to some of the other papers I wanted to share. Oh, I wanted to share that paper, but it is sold out, and so is that one. The snowflake paper got sold out too. That's probably my most favorite. But we're going to be using this paper today. This is our Gilded Autumn Specialty Designer Series paper. It is gorgeous. It's foiled. We're going to use that on one of our cards today because I have a ton of scraps from this. I made a lot of cards with that, so we're going to use that and some matched coordinating ribbon to go with it. And then there's some other gorgeous paper in here too. Oh, our Magic in the Night paper is beautiful. I feel like that's paper you can use all the time. You don't have to use it just for Halloween. But this one, oh, Plaid Tidings. I was playing with our Plaid Tidings paper too. So this paper again is retiring. It will be gone at the end of this month or while supplies last. And so it's $11.50. They're 6x6 sheets, and you get 48 sheets. So you get a ton of paper. And I'll show you today how I'm going to use some of this to make a card. Some of my scraps from this to make a card. All right, so again, I'll put the link right above this, or if you're watching on YouTube, I'll put the link right below so you can get right to the shopping page. But don't miss out. I don't want you to miss out on these great, beautiful products that we're only going to have for a limited time. So make sure you get on that. So today, I just want to show you cards with scraps. So I was going through all my papers, and I was inspired by another YouTube video I saw where the demonstrator was using some of her scraps on paper, and I thought, oh my goodness, I have a ton of gorgeous papers that I collect and save, and I use all the scraps. So, ooh, look how nice this matches with my nails today too. My little holiday nails. Yes, if you need some of those, let me know too. Definitely can help you with that. Had to have my Christmas nails on for Christmas. I'm going to have to figure something else out for New Year's though, because I don't know that Rudolph is really a New Year's sort of a thing. So we'll figure it out. But I was going through all my papers and I'm like, oh my goodness, I can use all my scraps. So as you can see on this paper, these are all just pieces of scrap that I had lying around that I've used to go ahead and put onto our card base. And then I've taken that and turned that into a birthday card. And again, I just used some of the shapes I had laying around. I have a big bucket of like, whenever I don't use something, but I cut it, I just keep it in these little containers, or I have a couple bags that I just keep stuff in, because someday I'll use it. And today was my someday. So I'm using all my scraps. I'm trying to use up everything that I have, because we end up with a lot of beautiful things and we don't want to throw away our gorgeous paper that we love so much. So this paper actually comes from our current catalog. It's from our annual catalog, and this is Playing with Patterns, and I love this paper. It is gorgeous, and you can see I just had a bunch of 1-inch pieces left from cards that I had made, and so I used that to make our scraps card today. So I'm going to show you 2 different cards and how we put them together. So you need a couple pieces. You need your base. So our card base is cut to 8.5 by 5.5, and then it's folded in half. So all I did was just score right in the middle, and that's going to be our card base. I'm going to use my bone folder just to fold that over and get a nice edge on it. Now I am definitely using paper underneath because I'm using glue today, and so some of the glue might get everywhere. because it does when I use glue. So I just have my piece of grid paper. So you can order this grid paper. We've got some gorgeous grid paper, just some plain white that you can order as well. It's great because it has the 1-inch squares, the 1/4 inch, so I use those quite a bit, and then the rulers on the side. So I'm going to set my card base aside. I also need a piece of coordinating cardstock. It doesn't matter what color, just want it to coordinate with your scraps that you're using. I chose Whisper White, and I cut it to 5 1/4 by 4 inches, and I'm going to set that aside. Then I'm going to cut one more piece of the same cardstock. So it doesn't matter, you can use any color. You just want to make sure these two are the same color. And you're going to cut that a 1/4 inch smaller, so it's 5 by 3 3/4. So you can see they're going to layer nicely on top of each other once we're finished here. Now I started already. Just to show you kind of how to do this. So these are half inch pieces of just my strips that I have, my extra scrap paper that I had. So I grabbed a bunch that I thought coordinated together. These all come from the plaid pack. So you can see I've used a bunch of my plaid, but I had a ton of scrap. And so anything I had that was scrap, I cut down to a 1/4 inch. I'm sorry, 1/2 inch. I used 1/2 inch on this one. And I just started layering them together. Now you can see on my other one with the purple posy here, I actually did 3/4 of an inch. So they're a lot larger. Maybe that's a full inch. No, it's 3/4. So 3/4 of an inch on those. And that's just because that's what most of my scraps were already cut. They were already at 3/4 of an inch, and so I just left them. And you can see it just, you can do it however you want. I look at my scraps and go, well, what size do I have the most of? For this one, mostly they were already cut to 1/2 inch. I must have made some cards where I had to cut off 1/2 inch. So it was really easy just to use those scraps. So I've taken ones that I thought coordinate well together. These colors I thought were really nice. It's kind of the pinks and the reds and the black and the white. I love the black and white plaid on here, which is why I chose a black card base as well. So now I'm just going to finish this up. I'm using our multi-purpose glue. I've got a couple bottles here. It's easier for me than trying to use the Stampin' seal. I can reposition it if I need to a little bit and kind of play with it. And I want to kind of make sure that all my pieces, as I layer them on, have an even spacing between them. Now it's not going to be perfect, and that's okay. Once you put it all together, nobody will notice. I promise they're going to love it, no matter what it looks like. So just as you're spacing it, keep that in mind. As I'm doing this, I want to make sure that I never line my pieces up exactly the same. So I don't want these two to be exactly the same because I want the breaks to be in different spots. And so I'm trying to just kind of piece them together one at a time, and I'll show you how we start it. We're going to start it with one long piece toward the middle, and then we just build on that one piece. So I'm going to continue building on this one. And as I continue building, all I'm doing is just making sure I have kind of an even spacing between my strips. And then glue underneath. And then again, I don't want to line them up exactly with the same piece below it. And you definitely want to make sure you're using something underneath because you might get glue everywhere. I tend to get glue in a lot of places. I don't know how that happens. Okay, so you don't want those two next to each other. I'll put that one down here. And you just keep building with your scraps. Like, that's the great thing about all these little scrap papers that you have. Now you can finally use them all. And get rid of them and turn them into a really beautiful card, which I think is the best part, is that now I get to take this and turn this into something really pretty. I'm going to put my other piece here. You can see sometimes I put the glue right down on the cardstock, and sometimes I put it on the strip. And I'm just going to keep layering and layering and layering. And that glue allows me to have a little bit of time to wiggle it, so if it's not exactly where I want it, I can kind of shift it. Start building over here. Maybe we'll put a little one over here. And I'm just trying to alternate colors. I'm not really doing it in any particular order. Did notice my little kind of maroon one it's a little smaller. So I'm just going to kind of fit it on there as best I can. And I'm also leaving space between each of the scraps as well. I'll use this gray one. This is pretty. I just love this paper. So if you're interested, this paper does go away, so make sure you get your hands on it. This plaid is wonderful. I feel like I can use this for Valentine's. There's a ton of gorgeous pinks and the black and white and the red that I think are Valentine-y. So I'll be using this paper for Valentine's for sure. Alright, so I'm going to put a little bit of pink over here. My pink strips are kind of gigantic. And normally I'd just flip it over and use the other side, but this one doesn't have kind of coordinating colors on the other side. There's some really pretty colors. They're just not going to go with the card here. And then I'll use a little piece of this black, actually. And don't worry, we're going to cut this all here in just a few, so that it all matches up. And that's why we need the two different bases. So we're going to need those two different pieces that kind of go together. And I've got a little bit on both ends. I might just cut this piece in half and use it to kind of cap off both ends. Don't need a lot there. Hopefully you can tell there's something there. There we go. And then we'll put this on the other end as well. Alright, so once you have all the papers down, next thing you got to do is cut these out. So you're going to trim around the outside, and that's why we want the color that's on the base to be the same as our other paper, because we're going to layer these two on top of each other, and it gives it a nice frame. So I'm going to turn this over, and I'm just going to take paper snips, and I'm going to cut around the outside using that white cardstock as my guide. And definitely use scissors that because you've got a little bit of glue stuck to them. So make sure you use some nicer scissors you can wipe down. Alright, I'm just going to trim this off. And then the big pieces I save. Because you know I might need those later. So I save any of the big pieces I've trimmed. And all the little pieces I've trimmed, if they're so tiny I can't use them again, they just go in the trash. So that way you're using up all your scraps and you feel like you are not wasting any of this awesome paper that you know you spent a lot on that you loved. Oh, isn't that cool? It just looks cool when it's done. And it kind of makes its own designer paper. It kind of looks like its own thing. So I'm going to take all these big pieces and set them aside, because again, I might use them for something. All these little pieces I'm going to pick up, toss, and then I'm just going to layer this again. So I'm going to layer this right onto the white cardstock, and you can see when I do that, what you've created is almost a board, because you have the same white in between and then a white frame on the outside. I just think that looks classy when you can do that. And we're just going to use our glue again. Hopefully I'm not too far off camera. Oh, there we go. And we're just going to put that right in the center. And if you're using that white glue, it gives you a little bit of time to wiggle. Make sure you've got that even. There we go. Love, love, love it. And then you'll attach that to your card base. Now at this point in time, you can stop and you can add a ribbon. You can add your embellishments if you want to tie something around it this way, or if you're making your card go this way, you can tie something around it there. Might be really cute with our black and white. We've got this black ribbon that has this beautiful sparkle in it. So I'm going to use that. Ooh, that's going to look really pretty. And just tie a bow around it. I love this ribbon. This is the black glittered organdy ribbon. Organdy? Yeah. And it has this beautiful silver glitter in it. Just trying to cut it kind of where I think I might need it. So I cut, let's see, I cut 9, 18. I cut about 21 inches. And then I'm gonna use, I'll use it toward the bottom here, and I'm just gonna tie a bow right in the center. And this ribbon does tie really nice bows as well. It's really nice ribbon. And of course I'm on camera, so as soon as I turn the camera on, I'm like, can't tie a bow. But I'll try here. There we go. Oh, that worked out good. It's actually a really nice ribbon to tie bows with. Straightens out really nicely. You can always adjust where your bow is after the fact by just shifting it there. Alright, so we've got our bow. I'm going to go ahead and clip the ends. They're even. And I'll attach that to the front of our card. See how pretty that is? And we just used a bunch of scraps to make it. I'm going to again use some of our multi-purpose glue. And stick that down here. There we go. Oh, I did forget. Say hi, say hello, let me know if you're watching today. Oh, I've got a few people watching. Hi. Hi, Marianne. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Carol. Good to see you today. Hopefully you're getting some ideas for how you can use all your scraps. I imagine you ladies probably have a few lying around. If you've been crafting, most of you have been crafting as long as I have. Make sure you say hi to get entered into our drawing. I always do a monthly drawing on our Facebook Lives, and usually we're live on Fridays. But this week, of course, with Christmas, I'm coming to you a little bit different day. So now we could leave this card like this, or we could stamp a sentiment. I've got this really cute little cutout. I was just saying, I've got all these cutouts that I cut out when you make cards, and sometimes I stamp on them and sometimes I don't. I end up with all these extra pieces, and I hate to throw them out because you never want to throw out your extra pieces that you have. So I'm going to use them today. That's my goal, is to go through and use all my scraps and start using some of these awesome things that I have lying around. So I did want to pull out a couple of my favorite stamp sets that are just sentiments. the two I pulled out was Here's a Card and Many Mates. And I pulled these out because they have an outside and an inside sentiment. So you've got really great pairs. With Many Mates, you've got really great inside pairs to go with your outside. So if you have Happy Birthday, you can put, you know, You're So Nice, or Life's Better With You, or Today Is All About You. Celebrate, you can put Celebrate, So Happy For You, and also Slightly Jealous. Celebrate because you make me smile. You totally earned it. Like, there's tons of ways to match the sentiment on the front of your card up with what goes on the inside of your card. Because sometimes I never have the right words for the inside. Like, I've got something great for the outside. I might have a Happy Birthday, or but I never have something that kind of pairs with it on the inside. So Many Mates is great for that. And so is Here's a Card. So again, Many Mates is $23, and they're our red rubber stamps. And so are Here's a Card. And Here's a Card is the same thing. You've got really great sentiments for the outside, but some really nice pairings for it on the inside. So you've got Congratulations, Thank You for Being My Friend, You Made My Day, I Made You a Card Because You're Worth It. And then you've got some really great things to pair up on the inside. On that thing, so congratulations, on that thing you did, I'd give you a standing ovation, but here's a card instead, right? Great to go together. May your heart find the peace that it needs. So words cannot express deep sorrow felt on your behalf. That's a great sympathy. Hello there. I'm here if you need me. That can go with a lot of these. Thank you for being my friend. I'm here if you need me. It's all messy. The hair, the house, the heart, life. Anybody agree with that one? I feel like that's a great sentiment as well. So you can use any of these, which is why I love them. So these are two of my favorite stamp sets from our annual catalog, because I feel like you can use them with pretty much anything. And you don't need to have a million stamp sets. You've got either one of these is going to make a ton of great cards for you. And you'll always have the sentiment that you want. So we're going to turn this into a I didn't even decide. I really do need some thank you cards. Maybe I'll just stamp the word thanks on it, because I think that is really cute. Okay. After Christmas, you know, I'm always sending out a ton of thank you cards for all the wonderful gifts we got, and just how absolutely spoiled we were this year. So we have a lot of wonderful family who treated us very well. Hopefully you got treated just as well this year. We were spoiled. My kids were out riding their bikes. They got new bikes. They are loving those. So they just got back to the house after riding their bikes. I'm using Memento ink. This is just our black ink. It's my favorite. It's a nice crisp black that makes everything stand out nicely. So I'm going to kind of put this toward the top, since I'm going to slide it in so you can see it leaves a nice impression there. And that'll stand out nicely on our card front. Okay. And I'm going to use dimensionals to pop that up, because it just needs it. Needs a little pop. Put those on there. And then we'll tuck that underneath the ribbon on our card. And that'll go right in the front there. Thanks. Love it. All right. So we've got two. So this is the smaller one. That's the 1/2 inch. We got the 3/4 inch here, so you can kind of tell the difference. Isn't that pretty? Now to start the card, so I'll kind of start one for you as well. Again, I have all these scraps. So here's all my scraps that I just pulled out of my Gilded Autumn. There's a ton here. So you can use all these scraps now to make a really pretty card. So Very Vanilla is the color base on these. So I actually started with Very Vanilla pieces. So I started with the larger piece that's going to be our background, and that's that 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And then I have the smaller piece that we're going to layer on, and so that's a 1/4 inch smaller. It's 5 by 3 3/4. And now I just have to decide how we're going to cut these. So let me set this stuff aside real quick. Get my paper trimmer out. You know me, my very favorite tool. Again, I haven't used any fancy tools yet. Just my paper trimmer. And really, that's all you need to do these cards and make them look awesome. So I'm going to kind of look through my scraps. I've got a lot of different sizes going on. What size is this one? That's really tiny though. It's an inch. I think I might just do a 3/4 inch. So I'm going to cut a bunch of these up into 3/4 inch strips. And the nice thing is once you cut them, you can use both sides. So I'm going to use Mint Macaron as my base, and then I'm just going to cut a bunch of these up to 3/4 inches. What was nice was a bunch of these are already kind of cut to 1 1/2, so cutting them to 3/4 made it easy. And you don't need a ton. There's some more. Try and get some variety in here. 3/4 inch. I'm just going to keep cutting until I have a nice pile of 3/4 inch strips. So there's some more. Let's see, I like this paper. I'll cut that one down. And now you're using up all your scraps. So if you have had a bunch of scraps you haven't had a chance to use, now you've got a reason to use them. You can just pull this out, and you're just going to cut them all the same. Alright, that's a good stack here. Okay, and if I need to cut some more, I can. Now, the trick when you're starting this is you're going to start with your small. Make sure I got my small one here. Set the other one aside. You're going to start with your small one, and you're going to want to take one of your larger pieces that's going to be your center. So whatever it is that's going to be your center, and we're going to build everything around that piece. So I'm going to start with this one. And I'm just going to lay that on, and it doesn't matter what direction you lay it. If you like them to go straight up and down, if you want them at a little bit of an angle, if you want them at a lot of an angle, however you want to do it, because you're going to just keep building as you go. And once you finish, you'll have filled up the whole entire sheet. But I like to start with something in the middle that kind of gives me my bearings, so I know where to start and where I'm going. Start with this guy, and we're just going to put him right there. No rhyme or reason, just that's the place they go. Now I can start building around it. So I'm going to start with a larger piece next to it. Remember, you want to leave about the same amount, so wherever you start, you're going to leave about that much space between each of your pieces from then on. And again, you definitely want some scratch paper down, because in case you are like me and you get a little messy with your glue, you want to have something down to kind of catch all that mess. So how many of you have a bunch of scraps at home? Just curious. Anybody? Is there anybody who has no scraps? Maybe you used them all, or maybe you're just getting started, and so you haven't had a chance to accumulate all of these scraps yet, because that is possible too. Some of us just have a lot of scraps because we've been doing this for so very long. Alright, I'm going to kind of mix it up here, because I want some of this to have the foil on it, and some of it to maybe not have as much foil on it. Just depending on what paper I'm using here. And again, we're just lining it up to try and leave the same amount of space on all sides. And so it just continues like that, and we continue building and building and building as we go. And as you're building, just make sure as you're building you don't want to use the same. There we go. You don't want to use the same patterns next to each other. So as long as you're kind of spacing it out. Oh, maybe I'll use that one right here. So keep going. Did anybody have any visitors? Carrie said every card maker. Yes, we can't help it. You don't want to throw away something you love so much, like this gorgeous paper. I'm like, I can't bear to throw away this tiny little piece. Do you see how tiny this piece is? Like, for some reason, I just can't bring myself to throw it away. So I am going to use it on my card. I'm determined. All right, I'm going to use this piece all the way across. Just make sure you're leaving an even amount of space as you cut. One of the other things that as I go, sometimes I need, like this piece right here, I need this scrap. So I'm going to actually cut it off now because I want to layer it back up on here. And so sometimes I find myself cutting several times during the process. So I don't just maybe cut at the end. Sometimes I'll cut throughout the process so I can get a few more scraps to finish making my cards here. So feel like you can stop and cut anytime. There we go. So now I can use this paper again, some of this, as I'm building over here. And I gotta use that. Oh, such pretty, pretty paper. I am really sad that we are retiring this paper. I won't lie. This is probably one of my most favorite papers that we've had. And I feel like it's autumn paper, but I don't know. It's so pretty. I use it all the time. So it doesn't have to necessarily be autumn. I'm going to make a card out of it today. I think I'll make a birthday card out of it. And I think anybody who got it would be excited to get it because it really is pretty. Such pretty paper. What is your favorite paper that's retiring? We have so many. I know a lot of people love that snowflake paper. That gorgeous, gorgeous snowflake paper. That's probably one of my favorites too. I was really sad. They're not really carrying over any paper this time. So it's time to say goodbye to all our beautiful papers from the holiday collection. But you know what happens is they just come out with more beautiful papers in the next catalog. So stay tuned, because if you haven't noticed, I already posted some sneak peek videos on YouTube of some of the new products that are coming out, because we do have some gorgeous, gorgeous stuff coming out here shortly on January 5th in the brand new mini catalog. And we have a ton of gorgeous celebration paper too, which is that free paper you can get anytime you make a purchase of $50 or more. And you can just add that right into your order for free, which is awesome. Always a good time to do some shopping and get some of that gorgeous, gorgeous paper. So there are some really beautiful papers coming. I don't want to give the impression that we don't have gorgeous stuff. I just also know how much I love our holiday collections, and I'm always sad to see it go. Always a hard time. Okay, I'm going to use this over here. Look how pretty that is. Just love these papers. And so you just keep building and building and building. That's all I'm doing. So I'm just literally just going to keep building and building and building until I've got all of this covered with all these different papers, and then I'm going to put it all together. So I mean, really that's, oh, I didn't even use this. Oh man. Okay. Gotta use these cute little pumpkins here. That's the hard part. Which paper do you choose? Because it's all really cute. And then we'll put some of these stripes over here. I haven't used the stripes yet. We're running out of room to put all my paper on. Scoot this up so you can see it. There we go. And then I just need a little tiny bit of paper here at the end. On the ends, you kind of gotta just fit whatever will fit there. Find something that'll kind of fit. Like on this end, I'm not sure what I'm gonna put here. Little piece of this plaid, maybe. There won't be much showing to get it covered up. Okay. There we go. I'll let it dry for just a second, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut it. So we're going to take the back. We're going to do exactly what we did before. We're just going to go ahead and cut right along the cream paper. This is our very vanilla paper we're cutting. All right, anybody tell me what their favorite paper is that's retiring? I have a feeling some people love this plaid too, because I'm a little sad that's going. I feel like that plaid can be used all the time. I think that's what it was intended for, really, because there's so many different colors to it. There's summer colors and fall colors and Christmas colors, and just has a nice variety in that plaid. All right, just cutting along the edges here, trimming up some of the other papers. I didn't trim quite far enough. Cut, cut, cut. And then we'll cut the very end. And again, I've got some scraps that are big enough to save for next time, and some that are not quite. And so once you have that finished, doesn't that look so cool? We're going to take our Very Vanilla that we cut earlier, and that's going to be our base for that. So we're going to go ahead and just cut, glue that right on. So just using multi-purpose glue again. And we're going to glue that right to the center. Try not to pick up a bunch of other scraps while I'm at it. This can get a little messy, just like all my projects, really. I feel like anytime I do a stamp project, it gets a little messy. So there you go. You've got your gorgeous card base that we can now put on our card base. And then we can decorate it up. We can add some sentiments to it. We can add ribbon. We can add all kinds of stuff to this. But now at least you have a really nice starting place. And you've used some of your scraps, hopefully, and you're able to retire them. I've got a lot more here to use. I'll have to figure something out. So that is our scraps cards for today. And I'll just put these up here so you can see them. So don't forget these papers that we used today, the plaid and the Gilded Autumn are both retiring. So if you want some of those, make sure you get those before January 4th. You don't want to miss out. They are available through the holiday catalog, which is retiring on January 4th. And then some of the other things we used today are in our annual catalog. So the playful patterns and our beautiful ribbon here are also in the annual catalog, so you have that. So thanks guys for letting me jump on and share with you how I use all my scraps up to make some beautiful cards and gift those out, and some of my favorite sentiment stamps as well. I should put those out here for you to see just again. So I use Many Mates and Here's a Card, probably my two favorite ones that I use as I'm crafting. So thanks, ladies. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to be back next week, back to my normal Friday times. And I'm going to start sharing with you all of the awesome new products that we are coming out with on January 5th. So January 5th is our new catalog and our celebration. And I've got tons of new stuff to show you. So I'm super excited about that. So I will see you back on Friday. If you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to shoot me a PM, and I will talk to all of you soon. Blessings, everyone. Have a great day.